comments.
Yo ho ho! What's going on, guys? This is Grim Reaper bringing you guys another session of the Boar's Hat podcast. Today we're covering chapter 286. I got some juggernauts here with me today. The usual Nia D. Hemmings. We have a great guest in Griever. He's joined us today from the Griever channel. We have Soraya from the Discord. She's been a long-term lover of Taizai. She decided to come through with us and hop into the bar. And we also, fucking Zarso's not here. We can't talk shit about him.
I asked for it earlier too.
But he'll probably slide in through later or something like that. What's going on, guys? What you guys?
So you're just gonna forget Kishin? Oh, that's crazy.
Did I say Kishin
Everybody
first?
knows I'm here.
Did
so
I say
don't worry.
Kishin first? I didn't say Kishin.
Honestly, I don't know. I just wanted to see. I just wanted to rat.
It's fine. I'm not like Zar, so I don't. It's like, oh, you want to forget me? I'm here. I'm here.
All right, well,
I even got a special introduction and you didn't mention it. Like, damn.
Kishin and Alkumar here too. The niggas on the side.
Yeah, like pass the clout.
All right, so 286 guys. Give me your ratings. Give me your initial thoughts. What's up?
Zeldris out of 10. Okay, it's time. I'm tired of the disrespect. Okay, the showcase is coming. I can't wait. I mean, everything kind of went like in a sense how I thought. We know Merlin is just a nonsense. She's broken. A scanner will a scanner. Praise the sun. But Zeldris, oh my god, it's time. I can't wait to see what his actual original power is, man. It just, you know how long I've been waiting. I know some of you guys know how long I've been waiting for this, so it's finally time.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about his power. We don't know anything about it yet.
But hey, man, he's challenging the leader of the Archangels. I'm not scared. No, not even worried. Not even phased.
I wouldn't be either, to be honest.
Go to your full power and you make the two highest ranked demons like jump back. You know, it's something big.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was an interesting moment.
They went, oh. They're like, you're gonna go all the
shit,
way or whatever, and I was like, yeah, respect him.
I guess we have to give Grimm a little bit of credit here, even though we all know we hate to do that.
I fucking said it! I fucking said it! 4 months I said it! Niggas don't ever Nigga!
You just broke your own rule, man.
Well, he said with an A. So
Look,
Okay.
look, bro, look. I, for months, against Zarso, have gone day in and day out. Alright, look! Rudicel's the strongest, nigga! Rudicel's the strongest, nigga! Fuck it! Fuck it!
Mile out.
I thought Mile was supposed to be the strongest.
201k without no fucking, oh, I need the sun. Without 4 commandments. Fuck out of here, dog. 201k, bro. Narrow
Yeah,
Basket said it.
Now
Wait,
it's stated to
But
be
that's
200
with
plus.
the grace. That's with the grace, though, right?
Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Say it again.
it really makes you wonder
Say it
how
again,
that Holy
Soraya.
War didn't
Yeah,
end
no.
sooner because he's
It
stronger
wouldn't
than
be-
everybody.
If you take away an Archangel's grace, automatically he's probably weaker. That's got to be included. It's just like King said at the very beginning of the series, like with their legendary treasure, their magical power, their actual power does boost up because they're using it, right?
No doubt.
Yeah, true.
So I
Yeah.
can't see. Okay, take away Rodesiel's grace, and he doesn't drop a single point in power. No, then
No,
the
he
grace.
definitely would. You're sure.
Yeah.
You would. That's what I'm saying. But and like, you're not like talking about Cusack and Chandler and their power.
Yeah, they're monsters.
Like almost 200,000 from both of them.
What was the highest recorded we saw before that point? I know they said like male, like Estamale was like 200 something, but it was an arbitrary number. Before that, I thought it was 114,000 at Escanor at like 1130 or something.
No, it was Meliodas at 142. And we hadn't seen one until, like you said, Maya, who was 200 plus. We don't know what that plus means, but this is technically 200 plus, so I ain't,
Well,
Yeah, this is 200 plus.
Mile was also kind of going crazy, so we don't know anything about what he would.
That's
Yeah,
true.
like I would easily say that the one has to be at least 200,000. Like
Yeah, I
when Escanor goes
agree.
into that, but other than that, yeah, these power levels are kind of ridiculous. I'm actually kind of ticked that Rodesiel has such a boss level power, but the other archangels were each under 100,000. Like that just doesn't make any sense.
We got the
think
power
I'm
level
sorry,
for
I'm
them.
sorry.
I think it's just like crazy. I feel like if you gave these dudes commandments, any of them, they'd both be at 200 Gs easily.
I know, but Redesiel is already at 200 without.
No, I'm just no. He has a grace within him, and you just said that he's stronger because of it. He would probably
Yeah.
be weaker without it. But I'm saying if
but
you
he's
gave
saying the gap between him and other two, I can't remember their names, that was fighting against Esterosa when he was still collecting, like the gap is extremely
Okay.
large.
Because
What-
Sarion-
did we get their
Sarion were-
power levels?
They're almost like a liability to him at that point. It's like-
Yeah, like
I'm
how
saying
are
you
they
give
a match?
Cusack, I'm saying you give Cusack or Chandler a commandment, their things would be up to 200 Gs or around that.
Did we see their power levels?
Yes.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
like 176.
Chandler is higher by
No, I'm
about
talking about-
5.
Talking about Tarmio and Sario.
We
Sarion and
don't.
Tarmiel were
No,
only like
but
60
based
and
in
70,000.
estimation to what Esterosa was doing, you can kind of gauge where they were at when they started to get at what point they got outclassed. You can tell because of how many commandments he was absorbing. He started hugging them and stuff, and like threw like his wing. Was it tornado? It was called. Like hugged him
I
through
thought-
it and squeezed him and shit. It was like, but then again, I'm trying to wonder if it has to do sometimes with the compatibility, because isn't Margaret pretty compatible with Lucio?
But the thing is with her, like you pointed out, she's compatible, but all it would do is to give you your original. Like the other two were restricted because first of all, once they had those bodies that weren't compatible, so they couldn't use their full ability, and then once they got out, their bodies weren't fully healed. So like they didn't
Yeah,
have
that
the
could
ability-
be part of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
But-
yeah. I would
but-
like that to be the case because it seems really stupid to have 4 people in the same tier and have one double, like more than double.
But the thing
Or
is
two.
that I want to argue that point because I don't like. All right, so as far as we know, we can estimate that a commandment gives about 27 to like 35, 39K. That's what we can estimate from like all the reviews that we've seen, including Maya.
Sure.
The problem is, if he alone with just one grace is at 200K, we were already told that a grace is more than one commandment for sure. It may even be 2 to 3, or it may even be 3 to 4, but we know it's more than one at least. So my argument is, I have no reason to believe that a single archangel was gonna be at the same power level as a single commandment. A bunch of the commandments, Mospier, Derriere, Galen, they were around the 60. Even Fraudulent, I believe, was around. No, Fraudulent was 30, but they were around the 60s. So I don't think an archangel was around the 60s or the 70s. Tarmio Sario was probably like around like 90 to 110. I agree.
Oh, there was in one of the chapters. It was stated when they were going to their original bodies or something that they had. I don't think it was 60. It was like 70 or 80. They were under 100. Like they were said it was an arbitrary number given that they were like 80 plus or something like that, but it wasn't 100 plus. But I will agree with your point that each like a commandment is definitely way weaker than a grace, and they could easily take down commandments one-on-one, with the exception of maybe someone like Zeldris. But I just find that the power gap is a little much for me. But I did like one thing. I forget who pointed it out, that they said that the compatibility with the body and they weren't at full strength, that would make it seem better. Like, I'm not saying Redesiel should be weaker than them, but it shouldn't be by 2.5 times.
You kind of want to see is like, with the archangels, it's almost like quality of entity. Like there's more demons or commandments, but maybe like as a collective or individually they're not as strong. But with just the 4, they're enough to take on the 7. So I would expect them to be a bit stronger. At least that's what I thought initially.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you fuckers decided to skip out on the rating. So what are your ratings for the chapter?
Zeldris out of 10. I told you. That's a 10. That's a 10. Okay, I'm like a 9. I give it a 9.
I give it an 8.
I'm an 8 as well.
I'll give it a 7.5, mostly because it was a little unpredicted on how things went.
I'll give it a 9 because I really enjoyed the sequence in terms of like fighting together. We do get a lot of like 1v fun side. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did enjoy that it was kind of a free for all.
Yeah, that
It's
like,
definitely not the matchup that we thought.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
kind of disappointed by that a little bit. That the fact that like they're not gonna do clearly a one-on-one. That they're gonna. It makes more sense because, as Merlin pointed out, numbers aren't everything, but they do need to work together so that numbers aren't everything. Sort of idea.
I'm sorry for being
I'll-
late again, guys.
Fuck
Sorry,
them.
we don't care. I'm joking.
What?
What's good? What's good?
What's
Sorry
up, bro?
about that.
What are
Just
your
woke up?
thoughts on the chapter and your rating?
Yeah, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I just woke up. I had work last night and I had this feeling that Grimm didn't let me know about anything, and here I am with Grimm.
All right, we didn't ask for your autobiography. You asked for your
Say it, bro. Shut your ass
thoughts on the
up.
chapter.
Oh, right, the chapter. Oh, chapter was bomb as all hell, bro. Come on now, we already know that One Punch Man was out here. I didn't think Phoenix Man was gonna come through.
Nigga! Bro, I swear that Zarso leave. This
What
is
are we
the
on
Boar's
right now?
Hat podcast, bro.
Oh shit, damn. Man, hold on.
You're a little early for the other one.
I am.
You read the chapter, bro?
Dude, Taizai came out. Good lord.
Oh
You know
my
what?
god.
Good lord.
This
Jesus.
fucking guy.
Jeez.
Zarso,
bro,
leave
I
it to you. You're done, bro.
Leave and come back. You.
Hey, just like the chapter, it went all over the place. So
Yeah.
All right, so let's
Good lord.
get back
I'll
on
jump
topic.
out. I'll jump out.
No, I think we were talking about the battle royale thing. I think the reason that I think that it made sense was just because of the way that what's his name, Kolsak, what's the other guy's name again? It's Kolsak.
Chandler.
Chandler. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Yeah. Because of how protective they are of the king's like children, it's like you do anything towards them, like, oh my god, like my prince, they're gonna come to like their defense. So like I never really thought it was gonna be legit one-on-one. I had a feeling they would like crisscross.
Yeah, it would be kind of lame if it was one-on-one because demons shouldn't fight by the rules like that.
Yeah.
No, but I just thought that it would start out one-on-one and then become a clusterfuck.
I mean, the scanner from the get-go didn't do that. He attacked Meliodas. He like attacked like the cocoon. He's like, wow, we think he can just take an attack.
that
from
was
me?
actually kind of weird. I thought he was attacking Chandler at first, and then like
I feel like he was in the
No,
way.
he's treating Chandler. Yeah, he's treating Chandler like he treats everyone. He's like, get out of my way. Like I have no feeling of pity towards those beneath me, sort of idea. Like I'm just gonna look up at this thing. I'm interested in this.
I was definitely
This is the
having flashbacks
strongest
of the
thing
Luffy
here.
Katakuri fight, like at the end where we didn't know how the hit went. That's how I felt with that one panel.
Well, he attacked at the cocoon. Chandler blocked it, and Zeldris just smooths his neck ever so slightly like a ball.
Oh, that shit was badass, bro. Nigga died. I was like,
It was so smooth, baby.
bro, I'm like, oh my god, bro. Oh, I can't. Look. If we keep going like this, we're gonna fucking run through everything. So let's go back to the top. Let's take that shit out, and then we'll come back to this fight escalation. Because
Okay, go back to the cover page. What a nice cover page.
I mean, yeah, it's clean.
all right, but
Different angle of what we got last
we got Hendrickson and Gil Thunder. Let's talk about them.
Yamcha TN.
Yo, were you about to slap Hendrickson, bro? Like, I wanted to slap the fuck out this nigga, bro. What are you doing? What are you like? That was like so out of place. Like,
His character is actually pissing me off right now too. The way he's treating like everyone, like the way he's treating Rudessio without the breath of bliss or whatever it is.
Yeah, he's kind of like a fanboy.
Yeah, he shouldn't be though. Like Zartrosh would not be doing that stuff. I'm just saying. Zartrosh would be like, no, I can see this dude's evil as shit. No, good people don't take over the princess's body. Sorry. You know.
Yeah, he's gonna pay for that later on, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Gil Thunder's character is still like concrete of what he wants to do, but I
He's
feel
just
like
worried about Margaret. That's
yeah,
all he's there for.
that's fair. You got to have some romance in every manga. If you don't have that, it almost, with the exception of One Piece, I guess.
Yep. Shit.
Okay, I'm pulling up the chapter because we. Really...
Yeah, I always have it.
No, I just lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something I completely forgot I was gonna say.
But yeah,
So-
Escanor, he didn't phase that cocoon. Good
I was gonna
lord.
say that next. Like, what should like first in this same chapter, we got a quote about the strength of Dark Zone once again. I didn't get a chance to make a video about this, but I'll elaborate right here in this part. So the three or four defensive barriers that we have in Taizai that are exceptionally powerful are first, it seems Rudis Sanctuary. Second is Merlin, or the form of demon magic called Perfect Cube. Third now is this Dark Zone, and we have Pollen Garden, which is also another form of defense. We have seen a regular, I guess it's like a base level arc barrier that was used 3,000 years ago to heal Elizabeth and to protect Elizabeth. We saw that when Meliodas tried to take his hand through, that his hand actually got damaged by that. So this cocoon, should we be considering this cocoon to be like some of the strongest defensive things in the verse too, or like what's up?
The cocoon is made out of. The cocoon is made out of commandments, isn't it? Like that's literally the power of the commandments. We've seen that manifested with inside of Male, so we can assume that their power is doing the same thing right now. And he's got what, 4 or 5 right now?
Well, he had a similar cocoon, but it only lasted a short time. That's probably why he was unstable.
Right, but Meliodas is actually able to take it, but Male was, not.
Well, he's taking his time and letting it absorb. So.
Yeah.
He wants all that nutrients.
Hold on.
What time of day is it? I just got to ask that because Escanor, this could be 10 a.m. Escanor or it could be like 11:30 Escanor. I have no idea.
Actually, don't know.
Well, hold on. Before we get into that, one second. Who's the strongest bitch?
Oh God.
Zeldris.
Zarso. Who's the strongest bitch?
Escanor, Zeldris, Meliodas. I don't know. It's like it's up in the air at this point.
Oh, this nigga's really gonna pull the bullshit. You're really gonna pull the bullshit.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. What?
Bullshit.
Oh yeah. What? Come on, Graham. You didn't think I was gonna help you out this late in the afternoon? Come on now.
Graham, it already told you, bro. You know what? I'm just gonna stay on track. I'm gonna let you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, I know that again. Like I'm coming in late again because I just woke up. But I just finished reading the chapter. That's all crazy as all hell. That's all hell. Did not expect any of that. That was a lot, even for me waking up in like the last 15 minutes ago. Good lord, my eyes hurt.
What's the rating for it?
Yeah, what's your rating?
Oh, in terms of like just entertainment factor, it's definitely 10 out of 10. Overall content, let's say probably a good 8. I mean, because again, it was just fighting. There wasn't any big reveals.
Zeldris.
Oh, Zeldris. Zeldris was definitely the guy who kept this entire chapter up because the speed of that swordplay. I knew he was fast. I didn't think they gassed him up like that. I didn't think they said he was the fastest in the underworld. Like what?
Well, it really made sense because remember he did that to Meliodas way back when.
He kept taking his arm off. He would let him heal.
Yeah, but like, come on, it's like he's that. I was like, okay, all right, Zell, all right, get out here. Show him what you're working with. And then Luda talking smack Zell like, didn't your brother teach you how to treat women? It's like, yeah, but my brother don't be like taking females' bodies. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All that banter literally made the chapter for me. Honestly, that
just reminded me of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged with I inhabit the body of a small boy sort of idea. I'm just like, yeah, no, this is cool, man. This ain't cool.
Yeah, but overall the chapter was awesome. Where are we at right now with the discussion?
Right now,
Escanor just burst through is trying to attack the cocoon and treating Chandler, Zeldris, and Cusack like they're in his way.
Page 6.
Okay. So how impertinent? Okay, yeah. So how impertinent?
How do you feel about the strength of the cocoon compared to the strength of Dark Zone?
Other defensive techniques.
Yeah, other defensive techniques.
I would say that at the end of the day, it's not necessarily the defensive techniques that really bother me. I'm happy that you can't just bust through it because now they're kind of forced to fight and find a resolution. That's not like, oh yeah, I was going to cut the cocoon, steal him, run away, because that kind of be a little too easy. I kind of want to see everyone struggle. So it's not necessarily how I feel about the defensive, but just how it all works out at the end of the day for me.
I mean, to address that point, it has been mentioned twice that we even talked about it earlier that it's not going to be a conventional method of going about things. They even talked about how they're gonna have to work as a team to get it done. But then Merlin herself mentioned, I don't know if it's like a translation that we should really pay attention to, but she mentioned that the goal is to just get Meliodas. We don't have to fucking do this whole the characteristics that Rudister is always about. Purging all fucking demons, fuck the demons, that racist type belief. she's not about that. Her focus is to get Meliodas out. So I'm wondering, just as much as we're depending on that, we've now seen their teamwork to work very well with each other. To maybe even come out with some predictive results because of the teamwork. Should we expect negative things to happen because of like their lack of teamwork?
Yes.
Yes, we already saw it with Escanor in this chapter.
I would harken it back to the Vampires of Einberg, where they were talking about the teamwork of the 7 Deadly Sins already. It was all like our greatest strength is our dysfunctionality.
Yeah.
And not only that, if you look at every team that pops up, there is some form of dysfunctionality that will mess up like any group of knights at any point in time. Like, just for some reason, it seems like every time a group of knights comes through, they're never working together, or they're always in over their heads. The 7 Deadly Sins was like it. The Weird Fangs got taken down for trying to get too quick, for trying to essentially go after legends that they knew nothing about. The 10 Commandments were never always on the same page either. So in this case, it's like a ragtag group of like some of like the strongest individuals on one side facing off against another, facing off against a group that's kind of solidified and like or rather unified on one front. So if anything, we should see some backstabbing for sure.
Wow.
At least that's my idea.
To go as far as to say backstabbing from Brutus, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the only one I could.
Probably.
He wants Meliodas dead. Like, I'm convinced.
Merlin stabbed Meliodas in the back 10 years ago. Are we forgetting about that? If we're talking backstabbing, we've seen her do it.
Yeah, but you know what, Merlin? But see, it came from a place of love. At the end of the day, it's like, look, it's like I didn't mean to backstab you, but it's like you're about to destroy the kingdom because you're a little too angry right now.
Yeah, like, relax.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I don't
take this
understand.
nerf.
I honestly, that is one thing I did never fully understand. Why was he so angry at that point? It didn't seem like that. Like it did. Like, nobody died. There was no Elizabeth to die at that point.
Oh,
so.
no. Oh no! So there was a
side story,
a side story that kind of goes into that. I don't want to spoil it for you, but
okay. I thought I read all the side stories, but no,
there's still another one.
Yeah, okay. There's always one in the woods somewhere.
Honestly,
yeah, I'll read that one, and I'll shut the fuck up for right now.
and go into it, but I was with you. I was like, that just didn't seem practical. It's like I get it, but like, you give it back to him. Like, why did you take it for so long?
Yeah, like that might have been helpful. Like they actually, it would have been helpful because if he had his original power at the time when his sword got stolen, then none of this would have happened.
None of every single threat that they dealt with up until like the demons coming, it would have been an easy backhand for this guy. Like, no, weak.
Exactly. And even when the 10 Commandments were first revived.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
You can say that in hindsight, but Bartra's premonitions don't fail. That shit was gonna happen. They were coming back. They were coming back. For
but they still could have came back. But Meliodas could have had his original power, and then that would have been the end of the story.
I don't think so, because at the end of the day, you have to look at it. This, like, if you stacked Meliodas compared to like all the 10 Commandments with like with like low magical power but high strength, he'd probably get ganged up on still.
He would still, yeah. Because we gotta. I don't mean to interrupt, but we gotta remember, like, the Meliodas that fought the 10 Commandments. That still, like, it's so hard to conceptualize how Nakaba's done this. But we've only gotten parts, bits and pieces of Meliodas throughout the entire story. The person who we saw in chapter 1 is not the same nigga as like the nigga that we see now, or like the original Meliodas. The person who we saw saving Leonis in the beginning in season 1 or whatever, he didn't have 2 or 3 or 4 pieces of his main power. The guy who we saw at the beginning of season at the mid part of season 2, after going to the Druid's temple or whatever, that guy still didn't have full power release and full control of his feelings or anything like that. The guy that we saw die to fucking Estarossa, he didn't have all his feelings. He didn't have it. And then he lost his shit and somehow got stronger. That's the part that I still don't understand. How is it that when he died to them, that he returned with more power?
I still don't understand how he returned like all these times. Like, he returned that time, but now for some reason he's stuck in purgatory this time. Like, he was sent back to purgatory when Estarossa killed him. He was in purgatory. He fought the Demon King. We know now that the shadowy figure was the Demon King. Everyone thought it. And then all of a sudden, he just miraculously jumps back when Derriere is about to slaughter Elizabeth. Like, with no repercussions other than he lost pieces of himself. So I'm wondering, did he does he willingly like let go of his emotions, like pieces of his heart, sort of idea,
I think
to
so.
come back to life? And this time he doesn't want to do that. Because this is basically like the last straw. He doesn't want to let go of the emotions this time, so he's not allowed to go back.
I don't think that's it. I think it's just every time he dies, a piece of his emotions gets trapped in purgatory. So it just
Yeah, and the assumption would be that, like, because his emotions are gone, instead of just saying emotions, we say control of his emotions. So now when he came back, he's no longer repressing that anger or that wrath that gets his power level to be that high. Because indeed, we have seen it, like, in season 1, whenever Meliodas could not control his anger, after the Black Darkness matter came out, he was using that much more effectively, bodying niggas in a controlled manner. So we could call it, whenever he loses his feelings, that he's just really losing control over his anger. He's not gonna, that'd be an easy way to say it while still accepting the fact that he doesn't have the ability to, like, love as much anymore, or, like, fucking, shit like that. But
Oh no, I'm just saying, because remember when he did come back that time, he did lose like clearly pieces of, like, some of his empathy and stuff, because he just slaughtered Fraudrin for like fun with a grin on his face, and Bond and Elizabeth were like, no, that's not him. And he was just like he lost parts of himself, right?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like that one kill is super justified. Like, he killed Liz. I would uppercut him too. That's so justified.
But he did it in malice. He did it not like the
I can't believe it. Like,
he enjoyed the kill.
He learned his lesson. We shouldn't kill it. Are you guys stupid? Uppercut this dude. Like, wait a minute. What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah. At the end of the day, taking out Fraudrin was definitely something that I feel like the author is trying to make everyone understand that, okay, yeah, he's come back and he's not the same. Like, the real Meliodas wouldn't be enjoying killing someone, but at the same time, it's like, this guy has already caused the death of one of his lovers and tried to cause the death of her again in like another life, and like 3,000 years of having to like perpetually like be alive and like suffer. It's like, I can only imagine, just one time, some kills got one time.
Oh yeah. No, I'm saying that no, he definitely had to die. I don't believe that Fraudrin was redeemed or anything like that. I'm just saying the way he killed him, like he taunted him, he had fun with him. It wasn't the way Meliodas like goes about things. So I think, and then after that, he's drinking by himself and crying, because he's scared shitless that he did that in the first place, because he knows that's not how he's been the last however long since he died last time. He's pushed that down. He's and now all of a sudden it's all come back to the surface and he can't control himself all over again.
I feel what you guys are saying, but I think me and Grimm had this conversation once where we feel like, while he's gotten better at suppressing it and whatnot, that was who he was at one point.
Yes.
That's what he was. That's how he was. That's a part of his character.
100%.
That's what I want to see. I want to see.
He ain't no angel.
I want to see, actually, and I've said this in many a review. I just want one scene to show us what transpired to being I'm going to be the most ruthless demon ever that Chandler and Zell just looked up to and Chandler adored and all this, but the most ruthless demon ever to exist. All of a sudden to this guy, what did Elizabeth say to him to make that happen? Like, I want to see that.
Niggas out here recognizing Grimm, dog. I've been saying that for light years, bro. I've been telling niggas,
He fell in love.
She's
What
a
are
hoe.
you complicating it?
She's a hoe.
Grimm. I
No,
didn't want to.
it got confirmed. It got confirmed. I'm wrong. I got you.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
confirmed.
Yeah. I was about to say, it's like, at the end of the day, Grimm, you had that one theory. It was like, what if Elizabeth used the breath of blessing? It's like, did we get that answer like last week where he said that?
Yeah.
He's never used it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, she'd never use it.
Yeah, he said that she would never use it. She goes, they answered the question and said she's never used it and she never would do it anyways. So, like, there's no past, future, anytime. She has the ability, but she's never used it once.
And that's
It wouldn't be in her character.
Right, exactly. That's what the response was.
I mean, but just to that last part, Soraya. You can say it wouldn't be in her character, but we just found out that Meliodas is the fucking demon massacre of the fucking hell type shit, bro. Like, he's legit. As bad as you want to paint Meliodas, it's not even fucking to that point. He's much worse than that. So I wouldn't be adverse to fucking seeing Elizabeth sitting out there throwing the booty around to kill motherfuckers. Something crazy like that. So I'm just saying, like, people change. That's part of the story of Taizai. I would not be or see it crazy to be that way. We just found out
That could be a fun explanation to why he's always looking up her dress. It's like, that is what changed me.
That's what saved me.
Yeah.
Yo, I love you, dog. Oh, that's
The answer to all life's great problems is in a woman's cleavage.
All right. So we got a lot more of the chapter to cover. All right. So let's talk about Merlin.
Bay.
Broken.
She is best girl.
This nigga killed Arthur. She hasn't displayed that much like out of control anger because of that, or even addressed it really. All we really got,
but she's too level headed for that, I think.
No doubt. But the chapter did mention that like the 3 reasons why. Fuck, where the fuck did it say that? It was like revenge, something and something else. Were the reasons why they were fighting, something like that. Let me read it.
I'm trying to find that. I don't recall that.
It's the first page, I believe.
Yeah, it's vengeance, grudge, loyalty. All their fates will be decided here.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so it's definitely been addressed that like there is vengeance in the heart of Merlin at the minimalist. How is that going to affect this fight?
I don't know. I feel like if anything goes wrong, I don't see her being the one who makes making an emotion based judgment, like, you know, you killed Arthur and something stupid, because I feel like she
looks pretty well in control to me.
Yeah, I don't see her making that mistake. I feel like as Scanner kind of showed that he might like do some silly shit to make sure she's safe. The way he like freaked out the moment that he got pushed back from her. I'm like, bro, Merlin broken. Like, relax. Like, if I'm not worried, you shouldn't be worried. Like, you should know her a little bit.
Yeah, she even did that little explosion thing or whatever it was. And
that was clean, though.
I had it handled.
Yeah, that was clean.
I like how Escanor kind of jumps out of the way of double impact.
Yeah, like he was like, yeah, that was cool. He's like, whoops. Yeah, they don't really have that synergy, that teamwork, because it looks like he had to avoid it, not really like, you know.
Yeah, it looks like he was right in the he was right in the way of that.
She figured,
oh, you need your space. I'll get out of here.
She probably figured that if anything, he'd be smart enough not to just stand there. And well, look at him. He's real smart. Real smart for jumping out the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is a brain amongst all that muscle.
I also feel like at the end of the day, Merlin might be the one to betray Rudisha, but then again, that's just me.
I can see that.
I actually am not against that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, the way I see it, Rudisha already has his schemes going on, but we should all know that Merlin is out here scheming since before day one. Before episode 1, she's been scheming, so we don't even know what exactly is going on through her head.
She's the Kisuke Urahara of Seven Deadly Sins.
Basically.
No, like every time you see a little bit of insight into her character, it always reminds me of Urahara saying, like, I think of 1,000 possibilities sort of idea before I do any action or go into any battle. I'm like, that's what Merlin does. She looks 20 years in the future, like, okay, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. I'm going to need to be ready for this, that, and the other thing.
And then have 3 backup plans from there.
Right,
all
exactly.
the answers too. She's one of the characters in the series where it's like, if you just told us stuff, we would just know everything.
Yeah.
If we just told us things, we just know. There'd be no mystery. I feel like she just knows everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Though I think she's caught making a big mistake with this whole. If she hasn't recognized what's going on with Escanor, I think that's going to be the fatal flaw that turns the tide of this battle.
What's going on with Escanor?
Oh, remember that one time he had a burger, the ketchup in his hand. It wasn't actually blood.
That's really what it was.
Yeah, he was eating a Big Mac.
It wasn't blood, guys, or what?
No, but
that damn little packet was aimed the wrong way. I tell you.
I saw I saw the best theory, and I think Grimm knows this theory too, where somebody posted, it was very easy, is that Escanor's actual power is his pride. That like Sunshine was something he gained because we saw the commandments themselves have their own form, like a material form. Sunshine might have been looking for ages and ages, trying to find someone, and as Rodesio pointed out, no human, no giant, no one can take on that level of power other than a goddess. And the goddesses were gone, the demons were gone. So Sunshine kind of wandered until it found Escanor, whose pride allowed him, because Escanor goes up and he says, I can do this. I can kill that thing. It's like, no, you can't. Yes, I can. And because he believes it, it becomes factual. And so that's the whole reason that the Grace hasn't killed him yet. And all this stuff is because of his confidence and his pride. But his confidence and his pride were shaken because of what's been going on with Merlin and her love for friggin' Arthur and all this stuff and all this stuff. We haven't seen it mess with manly Escanor, but we've seen it mess kind of with the heart of regular Escanor and stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, the next time we see him, he's coughing up blood because now the Grace is starting to reject him because he's losing a little bit of confidence in himself, even though he doesn't want to admit it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I loved it when I heard it.
How prideful of a baby would he have to be?
Well, no.
I potty trained myself. Thank you very much.
I'm not too sure about. I'm not too sure about about the whole command, the Grace thing looking for an individual. I'd like to get more information about that. It was elaborated upon, or we got a hint about it when we were told that the commandment wanted to join the other commandments when we were just entering the Dark Zone. So that may allude to what you're talking about. But the other part is, I'm not too sure about the pride thing, because, correct me if I'm wrong, the characteristics of regular Escanor are excessively timid. Like, not to, because
he doesn't have any confidence in his regular form.
And I want to mention that, like, when he was going up against Galen in his weak form, he was talking shit. Like, he did talk shit once or twice. But I just remember, like, primarily being that he's timid and unconfident in his regular form. But that's why I was wondering, like, could that? I think that.
But Sunshine isn't like. Sorry, my bad.
No, go ahead, man.
I was gonna say with Sunshine, I feel like isn't coursing through him like when he's in that form, like full power. The sun starts to rise and he gets more confident that it starts to flow through. But because he's so confident, maybe that's why it's not affecting him in a way that, like, I'm talking about the theory though, like with the, like, assuming that his pride is his ability or whatever. I'm not saying I believe it. I just like it. Like it.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Like, as I said, like, we have no evidence that what happened to Mael's Grace after he became Esteros and stuff. We have no evidence of what happened to that. But I'm just saying that because we've seen that they actually have a thought process of their own, they can manifest on their own, it would make sense that why would it go to Escanor of all people? And how can his regular human body take that grace for this long up to this point? It lends a lot of, like, it answers some questions, but it also kind of brings up more.
I would say that theory definitely sounds solid. I mean, again, it's just a theory, but it does sound solid because I do remember Ludashell saying when he was talking about it in that one translation where he called it the sun, not sunshine. He said that my brother had it, and my brother at one point in the day would even pride himself on being even able to defeat me because he was that powerful with the power of sunshine. So
right.
if anything, the idea that Escanor's pride also makes also kind of like works with sunshine in a way where he's able to get like all this power and everything, or rather like his pride is subsequent of this power, and his state of pride affects his well-being. I'd be totally down for that because again, it does make a lot of sense since we rarely get any information on this magic system.
And all we know, one other point I want to make about that theory though is that all we know is all we've seen Escanor as is when he's possessed the power of sunshine, like he was born with it. And who was that woman in his past that he was thinking of when he was like a Lord Escanor as a baby or whatever and stuff like that? Like there's a lot of stuff that's still kind of wrapped up in mystery. But the fact of the matter is that we don't know if this whole timid to strong form is a result of his original magic power being twisted because of sunshine, or if it comes directly from sunshine. Because I've noticed one key thing: we've never seen Mael in a weak form, and he doesn't have sunshine.
Bro, why is niggas is out here saying what Grimm's saying, dog?
Get out of here!
Get the fuck out, Darso! Get the fuck out, dog!
All you ever do is stroke yourself.
They're just down there stroking away.
I want to say it. I want to say it for the record right now. When Mael came through, he was like, "Oh no, Mael's gonna get the same weakness Escanor does at night," and it's all like, why would a goddess get weaker, even though they don't have their even though they don't have their blessing. That's only Escanor. He's all like, no, no male gets the same thing. Yada yada yada. Grimm.
What? No, I said the opposite. I said that the characteristic that Maya doesn't have is that we've never seen him in a young form. When he was a kid, we saw him go up, and he was never. We even saw him claim he wasn't too strong, and then they said he became the Angel of Death when he got the grace. So we know for a fact he never at any point changed. He never. There's no such thing as getting older or younger because of the sunshine shit or because of the grace shit. That's only Escanor. That's it. That's only him.
Exactly, and that's why I'm saying that this theory lends more weight because of it, because this whole thing could have been a twist on his original power, for all we know. And it would explain why every damn character, every time they see Escanor do something godly, go, I refuse to believe he's human. You cannot be human. Rudessiel said it, the Ten Commandments have said it, everyone says it. There's no way he's human. And there were theory videos saying that he was not human, that he was basically a Nephilim or something, like half demon, half goddess or something. Because
he was a vampire. I remember that. I remember someone saying that this guy was a vampire. Came through. I was like, what? But the sun.
Yeah, that kind of kills it.
Yeah. Well, that's
Listen, I'm a reverse vampire. Thank you very much. I just sparkle.
Oh god.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, bro. As far as I'm concerned, bro, the entire Taizai community watches our streams, bro. As far as I'm concerned, bro, the whole world, not about himself, is watching the Boar's Hat right now. Nigga, right now.
They should
All right,
be.
then. What's going on?
What's going on, every fan?
Yeah, like Hauser better get that Grace Tornado. I'm gonna lose my shit if he doesn't.
That would be great, actually.
Soraya creditless too, bro. Come on.
Why is Sunshine the only one that actually has, out of all the Graces, seems to have the only drawback then? Like, did we see any drawback from using them?
No. But
what drawback does Sunshine have?
That's another argument to make for this the whole going from timid Escanor to manly Escanor is not actually part of the Sunshine Grace. He gets more powerful, but he's not supposed to be super weak either at nighttime. Like Male, I don't believe Male was supposed to be weak. I don't think the Grace is giving him that type of drawback because we have not seen Flash, Tornado, or any of them give a drawback yet, as far as we know.
For a human, at least this way I've always seen it is that for a human with the Grace Sunshine specifically, there's a high risk, high return. So it's like, hey, this power kind of works off of the sun itself. So as long as the sun is out, you're Gucci. But once that sun starts to set, run home, kid. Just run home.
Right, but we're getting way off.
We are getting off. We are. I kind of I you know what? I think about it. My fault. My bad, guys. So it's happening too much.
But fortunately, when we get back on topic, we talk about some real greatness.
Okay, relax.
Soldiers.
So
we're talking about Cusack's mustache. All right, I got a lot to talk about Cusack's mustache.
Oh yeah, how did it regrow? That's my thing.
Nigga, we're not getting.
Oh yeah, I noticed that.
So, Rudessiel did this technique, naping Reaper, and it seems like
napping.
Napping? I guess you call it napping.
Like napping, pacifier. They're babies. They're baby demons. Pacifier, napping. You know.
Well,
I always had it to do like you've got Zeldris and his teacher is the pacifier because that was the baby. And then it's like, oh, look, I'm Meliodas' teacher. He's over there napping.
I'm pretty sure it's pacifier.
But it's reverse, yeah. The pacifier is Chandler.
You know what? All right, so napping Reaper. And it was, I guess Chandler recognized it as a signature technique of Rudessiel. And then we also got to see later on in the chapter, Rudessiel got speed blitzed by Zeldris, and he was able to react to it instantly with a technique called Gold Shining. So it was actually described as it says, "Be burnt by my grace, flash and suffer." So more characteristics about the grace of Flash, which is the best grace at the moment besides Sunshine, obviously. Out of the other three, what are you guys thinking?
I think it didn't do shit to my boy. He's good. That's what I think.
Well, he did get that cut on his arm.
Yeah, that
so-
was unrelated to what Grimm's talking about. That was
Yeah, it's
that was a
unrelated.
swordsmanship battle. You know, he got a little upper hand. Maybe it's kind of the length of the rapier. Okay, wait. Okay.
But is,
Everything I K-pop. I'm not K-pop
is
too
Flash is Flash only a speed boost though?
I think.
It seems like it's not. Look what just happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that could be any type of technique. Look at Elizabeth; she has plenty of techniques that don't revolve around having a grace at all. It's not like, and we see
doesn't have a
like
grace.
other. What's that?
She's using arc magic. That's what I was pointing out. Like this is an arc technique. It doesn't seem like. So I was like, doesn't it seem like a grace technique only, or do you think it's an arc?
It could be. I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Like,
I'm
as far
always.
as-
Oh no! Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, as far as we've seen, Flash has only basically been a speed boost so far. Unless Grimm's right, and this is part of the Flash Grace.
I think this and Sanctuary are part of. No, not Sanctuary. I think this is part of his of Flash.
I've always thought that the Graces kind of helped with arc magic as a whole, since since the nature of both powers are very, very, very much related. So it's kind of just like a stack on. So anything that sparkles is normally arc magic, and everything else would kind of seem like a grace itself. So Flash is just kind of movement, and until Ludashell proves me wrong, because again, everything that I've seen, the whole sparkles and everything, that's all just arc magic, or goddess clan magic for that matter.
I mean, we speculated in the previous Borsat podcast. Check that out, guys. Whether the technique that Meliodas utilized to break down the Demon King's arm, whether that was arc magic or not, whether his true power involves arc. So it's interesting to see the different depictions of arc.
I don't believe that though.
Yeah.
Arc's only a goddess. It's a goddess thing. That's why it hurts the demons so damn bad. And he's not a goddess. He's a demon.
Well,
Exactly.
Neither is Maya. He still had darkness magic.
Yeah, but that's it's just like with Escanor having sunshine, man. That's a special case. That's a whole nother wheelchair Gother fucking shit up.
And that leads into the theory though that what if
Oh,
it being his true power means that this nigga's mom was an angel. The Demon King got in that angel pussy, and then they had Meliodas.
Well, that would explain. I want to know what's going on with the Demon King Supreme Deity. I do, because I really don't understand why the Demon King's so afraid of him leaving Purgatory, and like why this holy war is necessary for him. Like I still don't get it.
As far as
And why were they working together to take down Meliodas and Elizabeth in the past? Why were they working together if they're at war? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
probably because they don't want their kids to come through and make something unholy. You know, like I
And
can
that's
see
what
that. Yeah, exactly. But then again, that would have, if Grimm theory is correct, and that would have meant that Meliodas is already a Nephilim, and a Nephilim breeding with another goddess would make something even worse, or just the fact that or rather the fact that they're like, you know what, no, you two just can't be doing that. That's weird stuff.
And also, we've never really gotten confirmation. A lot of people thought that Elizabeth was the fourth archangel until we got the confirmation with Mal. But why is she so important? Why is she so godly? And why do the archangels and like the demons why do they all know her name specifically if she's not an archangel? Like, she's clearly got some other higher standing, so maybe they're afraid of that. Like,
it's not safe to assume, but I think we can come to a strong consensus that she's most likely the daughter or the direct spawn of the deity. Like I said,
Didn't they say that?
Yeah.
Didn't they say
Yeah.
that when they got cursed?
yeah.
That they were cursed by their parents. So I
Yeah.
think that's I think that's confirmed.
okay.
Yeah, but I thought the Supreme Deity was like the mother to all of them, though. I thought that was stated too.
She's the
But
mother
I
to
agree.
all of them, but it's like, but I would say something. I would say it's something similar to the Sacred Tree, where it's like, oh yeah, like Sacred Tree creates like a lot of different the Sacred Tree basically is one that gives life to the Fairy King's forest, and the fairies are born from the plants there. But specifically coming out of the Sacred Tree is Gerard, first Fairy King, the second Fairy King, the Holy Saint, and then the third Fairy King. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, different goddesses made other different goddesses, but the Supreme Deity popped out Elizabeth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm cool with that, but because she's got to have some type of significance.
Yep.
All right. So after discussing a little bit about the Grace Flash, Let's get
Talk
into
about
it.
Hendrickson.
Why are they here, man?
Hey, man.
Just go. Why
See,
are
if
they
I was the
here?
demons, I'd be going and attacking them right away just to get them. Because they're.
I'm taking their souls.
No,
quickly.
no, they can't turn their back. They, you can say that they have high power levels and stuff, but would you really turn your back on Escanor or Merlin?
Yes.
I wouldn't.
I got Zell.
Yeah, but if you take out the weak ones, then they'll be all like. That'll mess them up, man.
Maybe, but I've always said this that Ludiciel needs at least one or two hosts around just in case. And personally, I'd love to see either Hendrickson or Gil Thunder become the host of an Archangel. That'd be
I think it's gonna be
This
Hendrickson.
nigga likes seeing people inside of niggas. That's what Zarso wants. He wants
I
to
think
have
something
somebody
that-
else.
Well, I think something that friggin' Gil Thunder said in a different translation I read too. One, he said, "Damn him, he's injured Margaret's body," talking about Zeldris. But in another one, he said, "Look at what's happening to Margaret's body." And I'm thinking that he brought up to Escanor about the body's not being able to handle it. He's going around using all these abilities to fight Zeldris. Margaret's body's gonna break down, and that's
Exactly.
why Hendrickson is there.
Mm-hmm.
Like. Because he's going to toss it aside once it starts to become useless.
It's
And
kind of
Gil
sad.
And it'll probably piss off Gil Thunder. So.
Oh yeah, but Gil Thunder has become the Yamcha of the series, so it's like nothing's going to come
He
out.
has to
How
become
dare
useful
you.
at some point.
How dare you, Griever? I'll never say that about you again.
Hey, I like Yamcha, man. I always liked Yamcha, but I'm just saying that like the further we get in this story, the less powerful like guys like Gil Thunder, and they never got a power boost. They never had a training arc to like start to be on par with even lower level sins or these like a commandment or something. They're still.
But there's graces though.
Yeah.
These graces are still here.
Because like,
Yeah.
you remember when he threw the lance like how many miles had Meliodas? He threw it back like
That was pretty
I thought
awesome.
I know. That's what I'm saying. This guy was
going to be
badass.
And then like look how the mighty have fallen.
What they should have done when they did the druid training, they shouldn't have boosted him by a couple thousand. They should have boosted him like up to the 5 digits. They should have boosted him so him and Hauser were actually like worthwhile contenders.
Mhm.
Because I actually like them. I like Dreyfus. Like I want these guys to be not just side fodder characters for mid-level demons. I wanted them to actually take on commandments like as a group and be able to take one down. But
Same.
right now it's all about, like they just said, the 6 strongest people in the world are right here, so nobody cares. We care about the other 6.
I feel like they're gonna have their time to shine, though.
I don't know. Apparently this series is ending in a year. I don't want to believe that, but
Neither do I. And listen, if my
It does
human
feel like
boys,
it's around the end to me.
Yeah, totally. I agree. I think it's endgame.
this might be endgame, but I've always says, listen, if my human boys don't get the power ups, I'm gonna be upset because Arthur, what happened to Arthur? Come on, really?
He's gonna
That
show up
Hauser-
again. He wouldn't have been
He
included in the
is.
first page of last chapter if he wasn't.
Exactly. See, thank you, because Grimm's always saying, "Man, let it go. Arthur's
That nigga's
dead."
fucking dead.
Blah blah.
Arthur's not
He's definitely
dead.
important to the story.
And there's not sleeping on him.
we still never actually saw Arthur's magical power. technically.
Exactly. You have to.
So I'm dying.
Bro, all these niggas out here hiding that shit. Like, this nigga had to come out with, my original power. Like, come on, bro. Come on.
Hey, no. I'm not doing that. Don't do this.
All right, well, look,
Okay.
since we're already mentioning it, let's talk about the greatness of the demon princes, or the demon prince. So, Naya, lead the way.
Oh, we talking about Esterosa again?
He's a bum. You're fake. Okay. We're out here. The Prince of Darkness, Zeldris. Everyone say your prayers. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just waited so long to see what he could do. I know he has a demon. What did the Demon King give him exactly that he has? I can't remember exactly what it was called.
He has the power of God.
The hand of the Demon King.
Yeah, he's borrowing the power from the
So
demon.
whatever he's about to do, he's not going to be relying on, which is what I like about it.
This
So
is
it's not-
his power.
This
That's
is what he can do. And
Yeah, but he's still got the power boost from the Demon King. It's implied that he's the leader right now because he's getting a power boost, like to either his strength or his magic or something. So he'll still have that boost.
Yeah,
he's just going to use his own.
Just not the
power.
commandment.
Yeah, so I think whatever he
Right, exactly.
yeah, whatever his original fighting style or magic is, we're going to get to see that showcase. But I felt like he's been holding his own so far, really great. He's kind of been fighting like a prince in a sense too. He hasn't really like aside from that one attack on Reducio.
The nigga hasn't moved.
Yeah, he's been standing there and letting his basically his vassals just kind of go around like, oh my god, like protect him and shit. So
Escanor
like,
sword slash,
so
double impact. He's the nigga just my nigga, Zeldris has me so fucking hyped right now, bro. Like,
it's gonna be like Arthur all over again.
yes.
Oh no!
You mean disappointing at its finest?
Yep.
Yo.
I don't. It won't happen.
Because you know what? At the end of the day, when I really wanted to see a really good fight between Zeldris and Arthur, I thought like they were very two good contrasting characters that are both kind of in a similar position, and they both had and they both knew Meliodas in different. Rather, they both saw Meliodas in different lights, or at least held him like really high, but obviously in different regards. And
They both had a boner for him, yeah.
basically. And the thing is, like the way that like their interaction, like it was cool, but then like the way it ended was all like, I wish there was a little bit more there. Like I wish like there was an actual good fight. That way we could have gotten some really good Zeldris fight, and then maybe get some Arthur weakness power. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to see him wasted on this trashy ass Archangel. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I gotta say, I get the hype, and I'm super hyped to see this as well. But I will say, I think the timing for the chapter is kind of wrong, because we just found out that Meliodas' full counter is something he borrowed from Chandler. His original magical power, which he clearly used to fight against the Demon King. And that was the big shocker. Like, he's got something up his sleeve that we never knew about. And then literally 2 chapters later, oh, well, his brother also, here's his original magical power. It's just like, I felt like it was a little too fast. That's one of the reasons I gave the chapter an 8 out of 10, because I was like, didn't Meliodas just do this? So I'm a little like, I'm hyped because I like Zeldris, but I'm kind of like, oh, well, could you waited 5 more chapters? Like,
Yeah, I think it'll give him the upper hand against Reducio, though.
Oh, he's gonna kick the shit out of everybody. If Chandler and Cusack at 150,000 plus both backed off and went, I wish he would told me we were gonna do this. Like, I'm just like,
I want to clarify this because like I made a video about this. So the way that we understand so far is that there are certain people, not everybody in this current. Hey, Darcy, can you mute yourself?
Yeah. Wait, say what?
No, you had like wind or some shit happening.
Yeah.
My bad.
In the current day in Taizai, that not 3,000 years ago, but today, not all beings receive magic or have magical power. It was a different instance back 2,000 years ago, but to this day, not all humans, not all of any race. Well, some of most races, but not all humans get magical power or have the ability to gain magical power. Some do. You see this in the instance with Jericho and Bond. Bond, through his methods and how his life was, he was able to gain the power snatch. Now, with that being said, archangels, fairies, giants, they all are born with innate magic. The giants have the magic catastrophe, fairies have the magic disaster, and archangels.
No, that's not really. It's only certain. See, the fairies, it was just King who has that power, right? Because he's the fairy king. So all the fairy kings have disaster.
No.
None of the fairies have that.
All the power to manipulate like the life and stuff like that. That's all of the fairies have. 100%.
But disaster is specific to him.
No.
Yeah, disaster. I would say, yeah, like I always saw it the way Grimm saw it, where it was like at the end of the day, yes, like Luxinia, Dahlia, and Harlequin, they all have disaster, but at the same time, it's like all the fairies are using like a low level version of disaster where they manipulate nature, but they can't do what the kings can do.
Exactly.
It's 100% confirmed. That's for me. Thank you. Like all fairies have the power of disaster. It's just like you said, it's still varies, but 100% all fairies have the power of disaster.
I don't know. I haven't read that anywhere.
No doubt. But with that being the case or not, those are innate powers. Like that's the same thing as like an original power. Things like that. That Merlin's original power. She's not a fairy, but her original power is infinity. That's every other thing she does. That's just a spell. Full counter's a spell.
Endless world.
All those things are a spell. The commandments though, are neither like I just mentioned disaster or catastrophe. they are, as we all know, they're the original powers of a certain individual. And those individuals, the Supreme Deity or the Demon King, have the ability to somehow give that power. That may be a different magic on itself, but their ability to give their innate power, which it may be their innate power or a portion of their power, is the commandments or the graces. So those things themselves can also be given. We have not seen an original power that can really be given besides the power of darkness.
Yeah, those powers are specific to them.
Exactly. And the power of darkness is the only one that
I
can.
see what
be
you're
given.
saying, Graham, because everybody has one. Like Gallon with his over armor or whatever the hell that was called. That's specific
Critical
to him.
over.
That had,
Exactly.
critical, yeah, that had nothing to do with his grace. That was or his commandment. That's something specific to him.
Exactly. And all the other ones have things like that. Like Derrieri's combo star, that's also her particular magic. I forgot what Montspier's particular magic was, but he hit.
Onspeed didn't really have one because Purgatory Bird was said to just be a high level spell that Merlin could
Trickstar.
also do.
Trickstar was his.
That was the
Yeah.
switch thing. That was good. So I want to point that out because like we've gotten information about these things, and that's how we've been able to speculate about the calculations of power levels. Like for example, a commandment by default, you gain a certain amount of power and the ability to manipulate darkness when you gain a commandment, no matter what, no matter who you are, whatever it is. It's like what you call it, Maya was able to. But with the grace, it does not seem to be that case, as we just mentioned, or as Zarsa has mentioned several times. There is no reason as to why Escanor could not create the realm of God, but he hasn't ever done it. And we can't say that he doesn't have the experience or know how to because he's been born with his power since day one. He's been able to unleash and utilize all different kinds of techniques. So the argument right now is, how was he been able to do that? What is like the restrictions of gaining power, and how does that work?
I think we really need a crash course. We need something like somebody needs to actually sit down or they need to actually have a chapter. You know how they did that cover page like a long time ago where they explained, okay, here's all the different class of demons, here's their power level, blah blah blah. We need something like that, just like a pyramid scheme thing to explain. Here's magical power, here's how it works in the 5 races.
I've always said that that the magic system in Taizai was very ambiguous because they tell you it's like people get powers and some of them are innate, others can be taught, and the naming kind of just comes from wherever. And that's
true.
Like the only real details that we get are like attributes, like demons have darkness. When Ludoshel came through, Hendrickson had like a man crush on all the attribute of light that Ludoshel was giving off. So at the end of the day, there's just a lot of stuff that we just don't know about, and how powers can evolve too, like with Bond and Purgatory. There's just a lot that no one's talking about.
That's true. I will argue just one thing that Grimm said though about the humans specifically. The humans, I believe they all have the potential, like Jericho proved that she did eventually awaken it. I think they all have the potential, but you need something sort of like kind of like Super Saiyan sort of thing. You need a traumatic experience. You don't just not every Saiyan has the potential to become a Super Saiyan, but you need a certain level of strength and power to begin with. You need to train your body, train your mind, and something needs to trigger it. Like for some people, they're born with
cells.
And you need S cells. And you need... Oh my God.
I hate Toriyama. I'm sorry. I need to keep going.
Yeah, no. That's basically all I was saying. All I'm saying is that I think that all the humans in Taizai do have the potential to have a magical ability, whether big or small. It's just that a lot of the time they it's just person to person. Some people are great football players, and some people, no matter how hard you train, you're never going to be in the NFL. It's just part of it, you know.
Damn. Damn, that's actually pretty good.
Thanks.
All right, guys. So before we head out, the last piece that we should discuss is what do you guys think the innate power of Zeldris is?
I don't know, man, but this dance is kind of scary.
Yeah.
Spooky stuff.
Maybe
some
it's
spooky
his
black
swords
coming.
play, his speed is. I don't know. Maybe what they really them how fast swords play is. I don't know.
I mean, the next chapter is Prince of Darkness, so I can only imagine what kind of foolishness he's going to bring to the table.
Greatness.
Honestly, just at this point, it's really just anticipation for the next chapter more than anything else.
Exactly.
Because like, yo, the only thing that I can tell you about that stance is that someone's gonna get plunged down on, and it's not gonna feel good when like that sword's going like 3 feet deep. Like I don't like no, like he's gonna kill somebody.
Kind of
It's gonna
looking
be
forward
off.
to that somehow.
This is looking to me. This is looking to me like almost like a Bankai thing, like the way he's standing and all that shit. Like,
Oh jeez, yeah.
it is. It's just and the whole darkness thing. Like, it looks like it's got something to do with, as you said, Prince of Darkness, which is the thing about Lucifer and all that crap. But there's like, I'm thinking, and even though I think it'd be kind of lame because I never liked it, but Tozen's Bankai from Bleach, where like he had Kenpachi in, where you can't hear, you can't feel, you can't see, like it's a total globe of complete darkness. I think that'd be kind of lame for Zeldris because it's been hyped up, but it seems like that's a possibility because it's all about darkness. And what about like literally being in a pitch dark hole where they can't do anything? You know,
I hope not.
I hope not, but it seems like it's a potential. Like
that would be scary because this kid's already like oppressive when it comes to like actual hand-to-hand combat. If he takes away your senses and starts swinging at you, oh jeez, that's just bad. Oh,
and didn't we already see him? He kind of did this when he was talking to Elizabeth, or am I mistaken about that? Like when he got in her head and they were talking like through that dream sequence, they like were literally surrounded by darkness, and he banished her back to like remember your memories and stuff. Like he had total control of the space they were in. As I said, I don't want this to be the case, but
can I know. Sorry, I didn't need to.
Go ahead.
Like, you know how? Okay, before we, I don't know you might have to end it, but I want to ask you guys something. When do you think the Mael reveal is going to happen in the battle, and what do you think that does and changes the dynamic of the battle at all? Like, what do you think? Do you think they will like that revelation will come mid battle?
That's going to end the battle. That's going to end it.
You think so?
I think that comes mid battle. I think that's going to.
I think everybody's going to come to like everyone's going to be battered and wounded, but nobody's actually going to die here yet. And this will be the thing that everyone's going to go, wait, what? And nobody's going to know what to do. And they're going to look at Escanor weird, and they're going to be like, wait, what? And Rudesta's going to be like, wait, what? And it's just going to be an actual stalemate of a battle, and no one's going to know what to do. And then Meliodas is going to break out of the cocoon totally fine.
Maybe we don't know exactly when Meliodas is going to come out compared to rather we don't know like the timing when it comes to like when Mael was revealed or when he awakened and when Meliodas and Bon got out of purgatory. So that sequence of or rather like that little timeline right there, like because again, like I said before, like we're in like a crunch time right now. Like everything's kind of happening, and like timing's very specific. So we don't know exactly when all this is going to go down. But yeah, I can see it being Mael's awakening, and then a little bit after that, Bon and Meliodas come back. I don't know if he's just going to come back right from under himself. He's like, hey, here I am. Oh. I've been.
Well, there's going to be two versions of timing that we really have to watch out for. Number one, I thought it was stated somewhere that this is literally when Elizabeth was flown off with Estarossa to Heaven's Theater and King and everybody was in chase. I think that's literally when this battle started. I thought that there was something that said like just before.
I think it was
Heaven's
the first
Theater.
page of last chapter.
It was saying it was before we knew about the revelation of Estarossa being Mael. So.
Right, so I would say that it was around that time, but that's once again that's speculation. The other thing is because Bon went back first, even though it was a few moments, we don't really know. Once again, this is still technically part of purgatory, so 1 second could be 1 year, you know. So I'm just curious as to if we see Bon come back, that should give us a really good indication on when Meliodas should break out of the cocoon or at least awaken inside the cocoon. That should give us a general time frame. But as you said, time in manga, we're in crunch time. So, I mean, they could go 30 chapters before, like, oh, it's only been 4 minutes. You know?
I gotta go, but it'll be interesting to see if or how if he's gonna actually wake up when he comes back inside the cocoon, or if he'll be in there like mulling over and having an internal fight in the meantime. Because we have no reason to believe that Meliodas coming back is gonna finish the ceremony. He's in there observing the commandments, so we'll see how that turns out. But really appreciate you guys showing up.
Zeldris,
you're all looking for the next session.
Escanor.
Does it come back? Stay tuned for the next Boar Chat, guys. I'm probably gonna do a prediction video or a fight explain video with Naya about this fight. So check that out within like the next few days. Hopefully, please don't hold me to that because you know I'll be beating my meat a lot. But in the meantime, yo! go!
Zeldris!